What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. To focus in on the Colorado Avalanche sending Nikita Zadorov to the San Antonio Rampage of the AHL. They sent out Mika Rantanen a few weeks ago. I think Patty Roy is trying to get the young kids to develop on the in the A rather than in the NHL, which I think is a very smart move because these kids being in over their head doesn't do anyone any favors. Zadorov obviously played all last season with the Sabres, about 60 games, with Buffalo. So, you can make the argument he's an established guy, but let's be honest, this is a 20-year-old kid we're talking about. Using any, minor league seasoning can definitely work wonders for him. Actually, he's already played a game and scored down there in the A, which is cool. It's one of those situations again. You want these kids to be in positions where they can succeed, and I think putting them down there is what's best for them at this point in time. Mika Rantanen's doing some big time things down there himself. He's got 8 points in 7 games. So obviously the Avs aren't playing to the level many people thought they would. They're right where I expected them to be, just for the record. But I think having this young nucleus kind of grow together down in the minors, I think is definitely what's best for the franchise in the long term. And again, there's no shame in going back and playing AHL games at age 20. I think Zadorov will be back in 10 to 14 days. And I'd leave Rantanen down there. Let him just dominate the A this year. I think he's looked, from what I saw of him in the NHL, he looks good at times and struggled at other times. He's also a teenager, and likewise Zadorov's not much older at age 20. So, there's such a stigma attached to sending kids down that, oh my god, this guy was up all last year. It's like, yeah, but you got to look big picture at it and say to yourself, what's going to be best for this kid's long-term development. And I think, some games in the AHL, remember, he bypassed the AHL. He was a kid that was screwed by the bullshit AHL rule that kids drafted from the CHL can't play in the AHL, even though he had outgrown junior hockey and wasn't quite ready for the NHL. And I think getting this AHL seasoning in, it's a little bit backwards, but you get prospect development, particularly with defensemen and particularly all positions. Really, it isn't a straight ascent to the top. There are peaks and valleys, and letting the kid go down there, play against men, obviously because he's a professional hockey player, and really fine tune his game. At a second tier league, I think it's, again, you got to think long and short term, and or long term ahead of short term, I should say. And I think that's what the Avs are doing here, and I think it's a good move. We'll see how it all shakes up. But look at that Ryan O'Reilly trade. It's the early dividends are obviously going to the Sabres. O'Reilly's played pretty well this season, but I think Zadorov can play. I still haven't given up on Mikhail Gararenko. I probably should, but I haven't. And the kid JT Compher at Michigan, he's a big time stud. He's going to do some great things in the show. So we'll see what happens in the long term. Again, it's not like a broken record. Saying it's a long term, it's a long term, it's a long term. But in this circumstance, it 110% is. And we'll see how it works out. Anyway, that's all I got. Episode of the Power Play with CJ on the Colorado Avalanche, sending Nikita Zadorov to the minors. Stay tuned for episodes throughout the season and beyond. Later, guys.